Okay, today we'll start a new module 4, design of worm gears and the design of brakes and clutches. Okay, so design of worm gears carries 20 marks and the design of brakes and clutches, that is a unit 2 of the module 4 carries a 20 marks. Okay, so this week we'll take the design of worm gears and next week we'll go for a design of brakes and clutches. So here in the design of worm gears, the worm is called as a pinion and worm gear is called as the follower. And the worm is always having very less number of teeth compared to the worm wheel or worm gear. So the number of teeth on worm, that is a pinion, is what varied from 1 to 4, and the number of teeth on worm wheel can be any number. Okay, and the design procedure for a worm gear is totally different from the procedure what you have followed for a spur gear, helical gear and a bevel gear. So we'll take one problem on worm gear. I will today will try to see how to design or calculate the worm gear design. Okay, take this problem. So look at this. Complete the design and determine the input capacity of worm gear, that is a follower worm gear speed reducer unit, which which made of hardened steel. The material for a worm gear, that is a follower made of hardened steel worm and phosphor bronze gear having 20-degree stub involute teeth. The center distance is to be 200 mm and the transmission ratio is a 10 and the worm speed is a 2000 rpm. So what is given in the data? The material for worm is what? Hardened steel. The material for worm gear is what? Phosphor bronze. Pressure angle 20-degree stub involute. The velocity ratio or gear ratio is 10. So the center distance A 200 mm and the speed of the worm gear N2. So speed of the worm gear or worm it is speed of the worm, sorry, the worm speed is how much? 2000 rpm. So N1 is given. So following the same procedure, little bit of the design of spur gear will determine the speed of the worm and worm gear. So we know the speed of the worm. We can determine the speed of the worm gear using the velocity ratio, that is you can see here from the equation 23.527. I equal to N1 by N2, that is equal to Z2 by Z1. So substituting that N1 value, so we can determine the speed of the worm gear or the speed of the follower. So that we got here N2 equal to N1 by I, that is equal to 2000 by 10, that is a 200 rpm. Okay, so now step 2. In the step 2 we will determine the diameters of worm and worm gear by trial basis. So the diameter of worm D1 is given by the equation 23.544a, 23.544a, which is D1 equal to A raised to 0.875 divided by 3.5, where A is a center distance in meters. Substitute that center distance given in terms of mm as a 200 mm. So if you do in meter, it is a 0.2 meter. So 0.2 raised to 0.875 divided by 3.5. So we got 0.06987 meter. So in terms of mm, 69.87 mm. Round off we can take 70 mm. Using the center distance, we can determine the diameter of the worm gear, that is a follower. So that is A equal to D1 plus D2 divided by 2. So substituting that 200 equals to D1 is 70 mm plus D2 equal by 2. So you got diameter of worm gear as a 330 mm. So as I said, the diameter d1 d2 will determined by trial basis here. So take d2 equal to 330 mm. So that is what a d1 d2 based on the first trial. Next, in the trial 2, diameter of worm also given by relation d1 equal to 3 into pc, where pc is what a circular pitch. So substitute that, using that d1 already what you found 70 equal to 3 pi into m. So axial model m equal to how much you got here, 7.42. The standard module from the table 23.3 is what a 8 mm. Next, so one more relation to determine diameter d2, that is what I equal to m d2, sorry, I equal to d2 by m z1. You see the last relation, okay? Or you can say I equal to pi d2 by pz, that is equal to pi d2 by pi mx z1, that is equal to d2 by m z1. Just remember I equal to d2 by m z1. So d2 we can write in terms of I m z1. Substitute there I value 10, m equal to 8, z1 we don't know, keep z1 as it is. So we have got 80 z1. Now using this table we can determine the diameters, okay, for various values of z1. So in the first column, first row it is z1, second row it is a d2. So as I said, the number of teeth on pinion or worm varied from 1 to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can take it up to 5. So using z1 equal to 1 and substituting in the above relation, that is d2 equal to what? 80 z1. So determine different values of d2. So d2 equal to, for when z1 equal to 1, 80, when it is 2, 160, when it is a 3, 240, when it is a 4, 320, when it is a 5, 400. So now we have to check the diameter value d2 to the nearest what we have determined 330 mm based on the first trial. You see in the above. So d2 we got earlier in the first estimation, we got d2 equal to 330. In the second estimation, you have to see which is nearest to this. So to this nearest is what a 320. Not we have 4, when z1 equal to 4, d2 equal to 320. When z1 equal to 5, you got a 400. So compared to 400, 320 is nearest to the 330. So we can select d2 equal to 320, z1 equal to 4. Then we'll determine correct number of teeth on a correct number of teeth on pinion or worm, and also the correct diameter d1. So that we can determine using the center distance. So d1 equal to, rewriting that 2a minus d2. So you got how much? 80 mm as a d1. And here you can see number of starts, means number of teeth on worm, z1 equal to 4. So corresponding to 320. z2 using speed ratio I z1, 10 into 4, 40. The axial model you got a 8 mm. Okay. So one more term to determine that is called as lead angle, that we need when you calculate the efficiency in the later stage. So that is lead angle equal to tan inverse of m z1 by d1. So this formula is not in the data handbook, you have to remember this. So tan inverse of 8, m z1 is 4, d1 is what? 80. So how much angle you got? 21.8 degree. Okay. Now moving to the step number 3. Moving to step number 3. So one thing you have to remember always here, when you determine the weaker member, so in terms of when you design worm gears, always the worm gear is weaker member compared to the worm. Okay. So by default worm gear is a weaker member. So now we'll determine the power by Lewis equation. So that is given by, from the equation 23.567, ft2 equal to sigma 0 to mn b capital Y cv. So sigma 0 is what? Allowable stress, mn is a normal module, b is a face width, capital Y equal to what? Already asked in the bevel gear, pi into y, cv is what? Velocity factor. So The table for worm gear to determine the allowable stress is 23.96. For phosphor bronze worm wheel, what we can get here, sigma 0 to equal 55 Newton per mm square. But in the data handbook it is given as 103.5 Newton per mm square. That is not correct. So the correct one is what, 55 MPa. So you just note down this and try to remember. Don't take it in the data handbook which is appeared as a 103.5 MPa. Okay. So next, Mn is normal model. We know that. B is phase width. You have to assume as a 10 m. Capital Y equal to what, pi into y2. So pressure, Lewis form factor for 20 degree stub involute. So using equation 0.17 by 0.95 by 40. So that's equal to 0.14625. Cv is what, velocity factor. So before that we'll determine the velocity of the weaker member. So pi d2 n2 divided by 60,000. So pi d2 you know 320 mm, n2 is 200 rpm. So we got 3.35 meter per second. So the velocity factor Cv equal to 6 by 6 plus Vm. You have to remember this for a worm gear. You have to use only this equation. So 6 by 6 plus Vm is 3.35. So we got 0.64 as a Cv. Substituting all the values in the tangential tooth load by Lewis equation. So that is 55 allowable stress. M is a normal model 7.42 or 8 mm also you can substitute. 60 is a face width. Face width is not 10 mm, sorry. Here the face width B can be determined from the above table. You see here, face width of a worm wheel B equal to 2.15 pi m plus 5 from the table 23.85. So 2.15 pi m equal to 8 plus 5. So you got a 59 mm, round off to 60 mm. So 60, the face width, substitute the same in the tangential tooth load by Lewis equation. 60 into pi y2, y2 is 0.1462 into Cv, velocity factor 0.64. How much you got? 7226.42 Newton. Then next step, dynamic load. It is given by Ft2 by Cv. You have to remember these relations because they are not in the data handbook. So Fd equal to Ft2 by Cv. So 7226.42 by 0.64. So you got 11,262.42 Newton. Then wear load Fw equal to d2 bk from the equation 23.572. So now, so here K is what, the load stress factor. So how we can determine the K value? Going to the table 23.100 for lead angle. So lead angle we can calculate from here. So here you can see the lead angle formula, tan inverse of mz1 by d1. So 8.8 into 4 divided by 80. So you got 21.8 degree. So based on that, going to the table 23.100 for angle 21.8 for hardened steel worm and phosphor bronze worm wheel. So K value equal to 0.69. So substitute the wear load equation 320 d2 60, the face width K is a 0.69. You got 13,248 Newton. So you can see the dynamic load is lesser than the allowable, does not exceed the allowable wear load. The design is a safe. Next step. So we determine the power based on 3 or 4 different criteria here. So the power based on the tangential tooth load, the power based on the you can see here power rating, and the power based on heat dissipation. Okay, so three different powers we have to calculate, and among that the least power should be selected. So first one, power based on tangential two-thread. Already we know that when you design up the gears, we know ft to ft equal to what, 9550 by nr. So rewriting that, what you can write here, for a worm gear, n equal to ft2 n2 r2 divided by 9550 into 1000. ft2 already calculated, so by power, so substitute using that, can got 24.2 kilowatt. Next, the power based on a VR, so that is given by P equal to N equal to N1 by I KQCV kilowatt. So these are the formulas not in the data book. These we have to by heart or remember. So where Q equal to I by I plus 2.5. So I equal to 10, velocity ratio 10 plus 2.5, so that is 0.8. CV velocity factor based on worm speed. Okay, so worm velocity of the worm is given pinion. Worm is what, a pinion, so it is given by pi d1 n1 divided by 60,000. So that's equal to pi 80 d1 n1 2000 divided by 60,000. You got 8.37 meter per second. So substitute that in CV, that is 2.3 divided by 2.3 plus VW, that is speed of the worm, plus 3 VW divided by I. So you see here CV equal to 2.3 divided by 2.3 plus 8.37 plus 3 into 8.37 divided by 10. So you got 0.1743. So then next K value, that is pressure constant. So for 200 mm center distance, you have to remember again this value 0.485 kilowatt per rpm. Substitute these values in the power equation. N equal to N1 by I, that is a 2000 by 10, K 0.485, Q 0.8, CV 0.17, so you got 13.53 kilowatt. Next, the power based on heat dissipation. So that is P equal to N equal to 3650 A raised to 1.7 divided by I plus 5. A should be in meters. So 200 mm, that is a 0.2 meter. So 3650 into 0.2 raised to 1.7 divided by 10 plus 5. So you got 15.77 kilowatt. So comparing all these, see, so based on strength 24.2, based on wear it is 13.53, and based on the heat dissipation it is a 15.77. So the least one is what, 13.53 based on the wear. So that should be selected for the design. Next, efficiency. Efficiency is given by the formula. So this is one equation we have here, 23.604b, 23.604b. So one more equation is there, so that we can use. That one is, you can see here, you can see here the efficiency is equal to what, the equation 23.5 23.597a, 23.597a, that is efficiency equal to tan gamma divided by tan gamma plus rho, where rho is what, friction angle, that is given by tan inverse of mu. So mu is what, friction coefficient. How to calculate friction coefficient, mu, you can see here. So that is based on what, the rubbing velocity. So that rubbing velocity is what, based on again the worm speed, that is given by the equation, you can see here 23.571a. So that is equal to what, pi d1 n1 divided by 60,000 cos gamma. So substitute that, pi 80 2000 divided by 60,000 cos gamma, that is lead angle 21.8. So you got 9.023 meter per second. So this velocity is less than 20 meter per second. So the friction is given by the equation 23.570c. See the equation 23.570c, that is what, 0.025 plus v rubbing velocity Vr divided by 305. So how much you got here, mu equal to 0.025 plus 9.023 divided by 305. So you got 0.0545. So substitute here in the efficiency equation 23.597a. So efficiency equal to tan inverse of tan of 21.8 divided by tan of 21.8 plus 3.12. That is what the friction angle. That is what the friction angle. Okay. So how much got efficiency? 86%. Okay. Now last two parameters, heat generated and heat dissipated. The heat generated is given by Hg equal to mu Fn Vr by 1000. So here Fn is what? Normal force. So again these equations are in dynamic, you have to remember. So Fn equal to Ft2 divided by cos gamma cos alpha. Substituting that 3226.42 divided by cos gamma 21.8 cos alpha 20 degrees. So you got 8282. Heat generated equation that is 23.603a. What is that? Mu Fn Vr by 1000. So mu 0.05, then Fn 8282.5, Vr 9.02 divided by 1000. So you got 8.08 kilowatt heat generated. So heat dissipated, so that is given by the equation 23.603c. What is that? Hd equal to HCR A into bracket Tg minus Ta divided by 1000 kilowatt. So where A equal to what? Radiating area of housing in meter square is given by 14.4, A raised to 1.7. Again A is in meter, standard distance. So 14.4.2 raised to 1.7, you got a 0.93 meter square. So Tc is what? The temperature of gear, assume at 65 degrees Celsius assumption. So making into Kelvin 273 plus 65, 338 degree Kelvin. Then Ta ambient temperature take is a 25 degrees Celsius assumption. So in the terms of Kelvin, 273 plus 25, 298 degree Kelvin. And SCR, how to take that? So go to the figure 23.89. For A equal to 0.9335 meter square, the CR value, coefficient of heat transfer, SCR equal to 320 watt per meter square Kelvin. So now substitute all the values, 320 SCR into A, that is the radiating area, 0.9335 into 40 is what? Tg minus Ta. That is what? 338 minus 298 degree Kelvin. So you got 40 divided by 1000. So you can see 11.95 kilowatt. So heat generated is what? 4.08. Heat dissipated is what? 11.95, which is more than the heat generated. So you can say that the artificial cooling is required to avoid the more heat dissipation. Okay, so just to go through this problem, worm gear, you can see the procedure for worm gear design is completely different from the other gears. So when the formulas are different, so some of the formulas you have to remember. This is a 20 marks question, come along with what? The design of clutches and brakes. Okay, so try to see this problem, check the data handbook and try to calculate using calculator. So any doubts, just make a call. So in the next week, tomorrow class we'll see one more worm gear problem. Then next week we'll go for what? The design of clutches and brakes. Okay, thank you.